Good evening. My name is Kirk Smallage. I'm Chair for the Douglas Library Board of Trustees for the town of Hebron. I'm calling this meeting to order. It is a regular meeting for Monday, August 11th, 2025 at 7:03 p.m. And we will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. You would all rise.
Ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Fine.
We'll begin with any public comments. Does anyone have anything that they would like to say? Hearing none, then we'll continue on and begin with the section on reports. Tonight, our secretary, Meg Clifton, is not able to join us, but we do have the minutes recorded for the last meeting on Monday, July 14th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept. the
Motion is made by Sue Porter. Do I have a second by M.A. Foote? Any discussion on the minutes? Any issues?
Musical interlude.
Hearing none, then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes from July 14th, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any online people at this point?
Just Catherine.
Okay, all right,
Kurt, I can abstain because I was not at that meeting.
okay, all right, then the votes will be as such. We'll call them out. Myself, Kirk Smallage, aye. M.A. Foote was aye. Sue Porter was aye. And
Yeah. he told
Gail Bland was aye. And Peter Casarella is abstaining.
Yep.
The motion passes. Now move on to welcome our town manager representative, and this perhaps will be your swan song meeting.
The last board meeting.
Yeah, on behalf of the board, before you even say a word, we just so appreciate all that you've done, not only for the board here, but for the town of Hebron. You've been truly, truly a person who we respect and blessed that you were part of us for as long as you could be a part of us. And we wish you all the best in your next adventure of your life. And with that, is there anything that you would like to?
Or other than same old, we're still finishing up on a few IT projects. We're going to be installing the new public computers in the library. We have a dozen computers coming.
Oh,
So for the children's and the main floor, and then a couple for
Staff.
yeah.
The staff workstation.
excellent.
Those will go over before the end of summer.
Ryan said he was hoping to get started in 2 weeks.
Do you want to bring that a little closer to you?
I will say this is one of my favorite boards to work with. It's always good, positive stuff. So I'm positive. Yes.
She's not counting all the FYI and all that.
Yes, so Andy wasn't hard for today at a hearing.
Aye.
We don't know the outcome of that one yet, and then there's still one more request that we're dealing with.
You really can't believe it.
But I will be around, and I hope the library definitely will always close to my heart, and I'm not gonna leave.
You could always become a member.
Good.
of the Board of Trustees.
Still involved in the association. so I'm
Excellent.
around.
Glad to hear that. Well, again, thank you so much for your service. The next report is the chairperson's report. I have a couple things that will be later on addressed under old business. For now, I'll just thank the board for the extra effort to get here. We're down one member until we get Beth sworn in. We're down, we did meet with Gail Richmond, and she was of the mind that she would like to continue to be active with us as long as she's physically capable. Her health, by her own admission, seems to be improving. So we were actually expecting her to be joining us tonight, but something must have come. She did email me and indicate that she couldn't make tonight's meeting. But I was encouraged, and I didn't know Gail all that well. And Dale arranged for the meeting, and I was very pleased to find she's very sharp-witted, incredibly experienced, knowledgeable about the library, knowledgeable about the history of Hebron and lots of things that have taken place. Probably only second most to Donna, maybe in terms of, she just is an amazing person to me, and I think she will, and we want her to rejoin us as soon as she feels well enough to do so, because she's a valuable asset to us to be able to help to keep us on the right track from more a historical standpoint, perhaps. And she's been so instrumental in doing so many things to get the library to where it is today that it just seems to me that I hope she'll do everything she can to get back on track and join us, whether it be remote or in person. So, but that was a very nice meeting. She welcomed us into her home, and I do hope that we'll be able to see her come the September meeting. Other than that, I'll defer anything else to when it's appropriate for other items within the agenda. And now we'll hear from the library director.
So you all have my report. The one thing I will share is that we wrapped up summer reading on Saturday with an ice cream party. So there were a lot of children and families and a lot of staff here because I was here among others. We just barely beat our total registrations for last year. Last year we had 803 total registrants, and this year we had 807. So we did beat it, which was my goal. And as of today, Lita informed me just before she left that the kids who registered read a total of 3,018 hours over the summer.
Ah,
So that's, they're really good numbers. We're in the process of, we drew all for all the prizes. We're in the process of getting those out to the people that won them. And we're hearing a lot of really good feedback about summer reading. And now we're all taking 2 weeks to kind of go, whoa, and then get ready for the school year to start back up. And I think I did mention in my report that we had ordered the furniture for the teen area, the new furniture that is here.
Oh.
I invite everyone over the next couple weeks to come see it. We've already had a couple teens in and they were like, whoa, that's so cool. So apparently I picked good furniture. Because and we've also decided it's comfortable because we all had to test it and see how we felt about it. So but that is up and ready to go for the new school year. And then the only other thing I have is, as you all know, I work on my annual report to the state and federal government with our numbers. And these are our numbers for our highlights for the past
oh, great.
fiscal year.
This is always interesting stuff.
Would you give one to MA? Donna, do you want to see one too? Oh yeah, I have a bunch. But so, I did find it, so it's there's an interface you use to report your numbers. And several of the numbers get what they call flags, where they ask you to comment because the numbers were up so much from the previous fiscal year that the algorithm said, wait, you must have entered something wrong. So I did a lot of being able to say, hey, we're offering more programs. We have a lot more people participating. Our circulation numbers are up across the board. So it was very annoying to have to fill out all the individual little things, but also it was really nice that we're seeing as much use as we are.
Great. Well, first of all, I think on behalf of the board, we're very pleased with the summer reading program, and thank you and your staff for the incredible effort to bring about such a successful program. That's really quite amazing. And the other thing that stands out to me in these statistics that you've just handed to us, I think it was during my meeting with Gail Richmond, she had indicated the town census is approximately somewhere in the neighborhood of 9,500 and been fairly stable in that range. And we've got pretty close to half of the town registered as library holders. I think that's a pretty,
Library card numbers, the percentage per population, that was one of the things that got flagged. Because the system expects you to have about 30 to maybe 40% of your residents registered as card holders, and we're close to 50,
How
so.
many of these are active?
Those are all active. The system does not count expired patrons. So those are the people whose cards are in good standing. The consortium automatically purges after a certain amount of time if the card goes to inactive status and then is purged. So these are all active patrons.
What's the term on card?
3 years. 3 years, and then it goes to expired, and then you have another, I believe it's 2 years after that, where you can renew, get it back into good standing before it goes to inactive.
And you notify the people?
Yes, they get an automatic notification through the system. Yeah, exactly. Because people are constantly going, hey, I got an email or a text that says my card is expiring.
Oh,
and those cards and the expiration get more important as we continue to push the effort to do more online with the library apps that are available out there, because each one of those apps requires a active library card from at least one library to be able to participate in those online apps. Well, thank you. That's a very encouraging report, very encouraging statistics, sort of a bright and shiny moment here as well. Thank you so much for your effort. With that, we'll move on to old business. And the first item is to update on the absentee board member position. First of all, we're very pleased, Beth, that you're going to be with us for the September meeting in your official capacity. We were sure between now and then that you'll make the arrangements to get sworn in. Also, as I already mentioned earlier, it'd be wonderful if we can get Gail back and active with the board. So I think, unless I'm missing anything, I think that covers that particular item. The update on the town personnel evaluation timeline, in reading I'm sorry.
With our filling positions?
Well, so Beth has been approved by the selectmen.
Yeah.
She just
Even
needs
though
to be,
Kristen attended a meeting.
yes, she had.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was here.
Missed it.
Yeah.
No, you were here. You
You
were
were online.
online.
But so she was here. She's been approved by the selectmen. She just has to be sworn in. Yeah. I don't think that's quite what they have on mind, unfortunately.
Okay. Moving on to the update for town personnel evaluation timeline, per the minutes, it indicated in here that you had actually met with Andy and asked him how we would do that. And from what I read in the minutes, it's up to me to
Yep.
make the
Yep, he's waiting to
Contact.
hear from you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And that will be done. Between now and the September meeting, we will have that resolved and get that up and running.
These things, what's our resolution then? Because we spoke about this.
Well, so the personnel evaluation is done through the town. I'm a town employee. So that's why Kirk needs to talk to Andy so they can come up with a plan.
Even though at our meeting, we mentioned how we had handled it for all these past years.
Right, but we're in this role, we're advisory.
Yeah,
Because
I'm a
it
town
works.
employee and it's a town department, so.
Still right here in front of me are the two that handled it for several years.
Yeah.
The questionnaire, which we built, which was made,
Mhm.
and then all the work and turning them in, and then meeting with Andy, and then Andy met with. Right?
Yeah, I think that's what Kirk will talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirk needs to talk to Andy
Well, my
about,
point is, why are filling it physically for delay?
because Andy needs to be on board with the process as well, since it has to go through him.
It's been here.
Well, but this is relatively new. So you want to comment, Yeah, I think that,
It
that would be
hasn't
appropriate.
been done for many years. It hasn't been done since COVID.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
It's been a while.
We did
Kevin, I think
we did.
once. And then it stopped, so I'm sure whatever.
My sense from the,
Yeah.
my sense from the meeting we had,
Need to
Yep.
be reviewed and updated and.
yeah. But I mean, I have some background that Sue provided me with, for what the previous process had been. And my suggestion will be to offer that to Andy. And then if he feels that that's an appropriate way, or he may have some new model that would be appropriate for us to do, whatever it is, we just would like to be able to provide as a board some advisory input to,
It's necessary that we be involved in that because Andy can't come down here and observe and go through all, he's got.
well, again, it's in an advisory capacity. I mean, I want you to make sure you realize that she does not work for us. Right.
We're in a good position to do that.
It's valuable information for Andy to have. Okay? All right, and so we'll make sure that that is done and the meeting will take place, and I would expect that we would be able to move forward with that sometime within the next month or two at the most. And it doesn't impact, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's still been increases or cost of living, whatever it is that the town does.
Yeah.
She's not being
There's
held
no
back. from
merit,
that.
there's no merit increase. It's just cost of living
Right.
for a town.
It has not impacted her in any necessary negative way for not having had the evaluation.
Or had any financial input, no.
Okay.
Kurt, I have a question. on
Yes,
that.
Peter.
Back
On which one?
The fiscal year 25 budget,
The budget, back to,
it was attached to Drusilla's report.
Oh, yeah.
okay, let's see. Sure. We'll interrupt at this point to,
93%. Are you telling us, Drusilla, we came in 7% on the budget?
No, that's the current fiscal year, starting July 1st.
Oh, okay. I thought it was past 24, 25.
No, that's the month of July. Yeah,
Thank you.
So we're good, Peter.
all set?
we are good. We did come in barely under budget for the last year, but I'm still waiting for a couple of the final numbers.
Good. So you.
Because we have things that are still coming in that go on the previous fiscal year, so I don't have final,
We don't have that. for next meeting.
hopefully, yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Kurt.
Okay, Peter. With that, we'll move on to the poet laureate. Anyone have anything to report on that?
So, Larry and I spoke and he came to the library. We are starting a poetry group beginning the week after Labor Day. However, I should point out that as Donna caught, his term expired. His term as poet laureate expired in March. It is the prerogative of the board to extend that for a further year or two. A poet laureate can serve up to 3 years total. But so if the board wishes him to continue in the poet laureate capacity as he's leading this poetry group, the board needs to vote to extend his term.
We extended term of the poet laureate.
Dale,
Another year.
could I ask you to just move the microphone closer to yourself?
Okay, I move that we extend the term of the poet laureate for another year.
Couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Dale's motion is to extend the term of the poet laureate for an additional year.
Thank you. Do I have a second to that motion? And do we need the person's name included in the motion?
Current, okay, let me rephrase that. So Dale's motion, correct me if I'm wrong, is to extend the term of the poet laureate, Larry Zimmerman, for an additional year from this date?
Yes.
From this state?
From this date. You have the ability to do that.
Quite a few months that when he was.
He was-
Expired individual.
Yeah, it had expired in March.
Do I have a second for that motion?
It's only for a year.
1 year.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any,
This is, said about this because we spoke about this at the last meeting, and I was to get in touch with Larry,
Mm.
which I did. And we chatted about all of this and established some plans. And then he said he would call you.
Which he
before
did.
He would get back to me. I've never heard a thing since.
Oh, yeah, no, he came and he came into the library. He met with Lita, the children's librarian, and I. We agreed that he would do a weekly poetry group meeting, beginning the week after, Labor Day. So that's already on our calendar, and we've sent out the press release, which he had drafted, and I filled in a few details.
And I didn't even get that.
And then he is, planning to talk to Lita about doing a program for the kids, at some point once school starts.
So we're open for discussion. for the motion.
And the motion's still open for discussion. Anybody else?
Is he interested in serving another year?
Yes,
He is.
yes, very much.
Okay,
And he would be because he's never had a chance to really get it going.
But if you don't ask him.
okay.
So, except that we know we planned on this.
Yeah, no, he's wants to continue.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of continuing it to extend the term for Larry Zimmerman for Poet Laureate from the state forward for another year, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Well, do I have the official? Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Official
Appointment.
Okay.
So I would
Word.
that Board of Trustees is recommending.
Okay.
So the Board of
Let's
Trustees,
change it to say 2 years.
Well, is it 2 years from March when it expires?
I would do that because he can always resign, but I would get him in place for 2 years.
Yeah.
All right,
all right, so
so
Dale, if you rescind
Point
your
of-
motion and restate.
Yes, I rescind my motion. I make a motion that.
microphone closer, please, Dale.
Okay, I make a motion that we appoint or extend the recommend
the selectmen.
recommend to the selectmen that we extend the period of appointment for Larry Zimmerman as poet laureate for the town of Hebron for a 2-year period, which would go from this past March until a year from March. Is that?
You have that motion record?
Beginning of March.
No, it's March. I think it's March 31st.
27.
It would be,
27.
yeah, it would be March of 27, but 2 years from the date it expired, basically. Yeah.
Do I have a second to that motion? And did everybody hear it and understand it? Do I have a second? Okay, seconded by Peter. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion is unanimous, so we do not need a roll call vote. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, MA. The last item under old business is a stated mandate of policies for the state. This is for the state library, so?
Yes, so the state library, the state passed some legislation in the last legislative term, which has some bearing on public libraries. Among other things, they passed a freedom to read bill, which says that outside groups can't limit what you or your child choose to read. So the state library is requiring that all public libraries institute 3 specific policies using language provided by the state library. One for collection development and reconsideration of materials. And they made a specific point of saying that even though we just did this a year ago, the policy we put in place a year ago does not meet the new requirements. So there's a new one of those. There's also a display policy and a programming policy. And so what What needs to happen is the board needs to approve that these drafts be sent to the state library. The state library will then check to be sure that they meet all the requirements as stated by the legislation and the state librarian. They will then come back to the board and the board will need to pass them. And the deadline for that is November 1st. And the penalty is that we would not be able to participate in state aid, which does give us some funding every year, and also would not be eligible for certain state programs.
There's a lot of this to saying that.
It's very, very similar to what was there before. The collection development policy, they wanted it broken out into specific sections. So there are some things that were in one section and are now broken into like 3 separate, one for adults, one for kids, and one for teens. And then it specifically has to cite the legislation. But it is very similar to what we already had.
I believe the motion for this can be a collective for all 3 separate items under one motion to be submitted to the state.
Maybe right now, because I don't give it anything, but, should also somehow include our historic collection. I would think.
So this covers all materials. Any and all materials of any kind that are in the library's holdings are covered by the collection development policy. And the purpose really is to say that an outside group or any group can't come in and say, you need to remove these materials because they offend me or they
That's the
offend.
reason.
Yeah.
That is the whole reason that the state is now mandating these policies, yes, because legislation now provides that libraries should be exempt from that.
Is there anything that is in this that is different than what was in our policy?
The only things that are different in this policy are that it cites the legislation that was just passed. There's a bill number, I think it's at the end. And the one sentence in there is that library materials will not be marked or identified to indicate approval or disapproval of the contents.
No.
So that is one of the things that was mandated. But it's not. It's essentially what we had before with 1 or 2 very
So
specific.
we can submit this if we approve it to. the
It
st-
still needs to be approved. All 3 need to go to the state for the state to make sure that it meets
But-
requirements before the board can approve it.
Oh, okay.
It's a draft at
It's a
this.
draft.
Okay.
Yes. What?
So we're giving them back what.
Basically, the collection development policy, fortunately, we had basically copied the language that they had last year. So I inserted the new language in, but the other 2 are basically copying and pasting what the state. But yes, so they have given us the language. I cleaned some of it up a little bit because I found a couple of like typographical errors and so on. And then the board approves that draft and it goes back to them to say, look, we copied and pasted here.
So we'll have one more look at this, at least one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
if
we don't know. It might not meet the standards. when
Well,
They look at
They're
it.
their
they,
standards.
yeah, they're standards, yes. If they find any issues or what have you, those will come back and can be then incorporated into the final
final.
policy approval.
Okay,
But yes, they have laid out the process, so we are following the process.
thank you. Then I'll entertain a motion to submit this back as a draft for all 3 of these. Yes. These were all submitted to us with the other materials in through the Hebron.gov website.
Which everyone knows I don't.
We'll sidebar on that. We're going to make some kind of arrangement so you get that, because that's not allowing you to be a fully participating and responsible member of this board if you're not getting that information. So you're going to need to help us to find a way. Well, we're all getting that email, so we need to figure out a way for you to do that, because that's how we communicate now. So we'll sidebar on that and figure out a way to help you to make sure you become a fully participant in terms of communication. So again, I'll ask for a motion to,
Be happy to make a motion. That we approve the draft policies for collection, displays, and programming. As we discussed this evening.
Move that to him and then he turned his.
I second it.
Great, Dale seconds.
Did you capture that?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion on this motion? Then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I'll vote aye as long as everyone else did.
Okay, so the motion is unanimous. Will not require a roll call.
Send those off to the state tomorrow.
Great, excellent. Thank you, everybody, for that. That allows us to be timely in getting it submitted and allow them to be able to respond back. Okay, moving on at this point to new business. Anybody have anything they'd like to offer for the board for new business? Yes, MA.
Gail Richmond made me think, could we have midday meetings rather than evening meetings? Is there anyone who could not?
Meg
attend
and
midday?
Emily could not get here. And
They're
if
both
you
working.
work as well, yeah.
And Beth?
Yeah, and I work.
Yeah, Meg and Emily are both working.
And I'd be concerned a little, not that we have a huge following in the audience, but in terms of audience participation, if there is an issue that would come up, it would be very difficult for people to.
I was thinking that with Gail's health.
She can use
evenings
the-
Are the most difficult.
She could use Zoom. She's
She
at,
could have been doing that all along,
Yeah.
but by evening, she's just pretty well worn down, I believe.
Well, she seemed to be improving when we met with her. I'm not sure if you came in and heard that we had a meeting with her and it went well. I was very impressed that she seems to be better and she was actually going to attend tonight. I thought that we would be welcoming her back, but something came up where she was unable to do that. So,
Kurt and I met with Gail for an hour this past week,
Midday or evening?
midday.
midday. She doesn't get up until after 11. You know, so I mean,
Well, she
No,
keeps-
you don't.
no, I
Pat.
mean,
She
You don't
keeps
want-
I was gonna say, she's up all night. She keeps the schedule I would like to keep. I have to be here.
Are you all set?
but I mean, she has people coming in.
All right, hearing no other, anybody else have any new business? Hearing no other new business, I'll move on to other business. Is there other business that we need to cover? Okay, then we'll move on to the strategic plan committees, beginning with oversight. Anything from the oversight committee? No, not at this point. The welcoming committee, other than to welcome Beth?
We'd be happy to welcome Gail back.
Yes. Well, that was going to be my intent. She was going to be on by Zoom tonight, but we'll have to postpone that. Hopefully I'm going to be in touch with her again to continue to encourage her she's such a valuable piece of this that we need to do everything we can to get her to come back and join us. How about the integral committee?
Welcome,
Oh, I'm
welcome.
sorry.
All I can say is, I mean, the board coming in, listing all the programs that are going on, is very welcoming. The staff is welcoming and very friendly, and I have gotten, positive member mention of how welcoming the staff is.
Great.
And-
Thank you.
and Beth, once you're appointed, which committee would you like to serve on?
Don't have to decide that tonight.
Learn a little bit about that first.
Yes, I think that,
To me and I'll go over them with you.
yes,
Fine.
thank you. The integral committee,
So
anything?
that's Meg does integral
Okay.
and she and I have already talked, just so the board knows, we have already talked about when school starts up again and the newsletters for RAM, both the middle school and the high school go out, calls for volunteers, for the teen volunteers to go out in that.
And I will say that the yard continues to look better all the time. And as I drove in, I saw a butterfly on the butterfly.
Yeah.
field.
Oh, that's
We've had
awesome.
a lot of butterflies in the parking lot, which
That's
is nice.
great. They're rare this year. Anything else? Thank you for that. All right, the SAFE Strategic Plan Committee,
Nothing.
okay, and evolving. think that's me.
No, Peter's safe with me.
Peter and Sue are safe. I
Okay,
think you're evolving.
I'm evolving. Yeah, I am evolving. I don't really have anything to report other than I think the things that we're working on are positive and good things. And I love the way the library is continuing to move into the 21st century here. So thank you for that. I think that brings us to the end of our agenda, unless anybody has anything they would like to add.
Move we adjourn.
There has been a motion to adjourn by Dale. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Peter. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion is passed by unanimous.
With time I was thinking. I had-
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Beth, I'm sorry that it didn't work out, that you couldn't actually sit with
There's
us.
still time for everyone to go upstairs and see the new teen furniture. Just saying.
That's not a bad idea at all.
So.